gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap. Happy Monday morning, everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. I certainly did, and I am all the way in on football. Yep, we're going to start calling it football now. It is, what a weekend. The weekend was great. Hope you had a great weekend as well. Mine was very fun. Block Mage, GM Osiris, Absolute Zero, Machiavelli, Mike Campbell, Zane, all the OGs there over in the YouTube chat, and obviously Teacher Katie in the abstract chat, getting things warmed up. Appreciate all of our early GMers and those hitting the buttons here on X as well. We're live here on X Audio, X Video, YouTube, and Abstract. Feel free to join the show wherever you'd prefer, but we do love the assistance getting the X spaces warmed up and helping us be discovered by the others out there. Dort, what is this contraption you're drinking this morning? I see the subtle hat flex in the photo. What is I see the San Pellegrino, I see some orange peel, and is that is it a Coke? Is it a coffee? What are we drinking this morning, Dort? Best way to start Web3, or best way to start the morning Web3 aspiring, nobody says. I agree, slightly biased, but I do agree. Risk Brian, happy Mutant Monday to you as well. And 1 in a million, we love it when you get a chance to listen live. So 1 in a million is one of our OG podcast listeners, and not often gets to tune in live. So love it when you're here. And I did not stay up for the entire game last night, but I did catch... I fell asleep shortly after Kane scored his PK. I did not see then the penalty called on him to where Mexico scored after. But I woke up this morning and, first thing I did was wanted to make sure that Mexico City was still standing and had not been burnt to the ground. And then I watched the I watched the replay for the portion I missed, but man, what a game. Just incredible, incredible. I don't even know how to put it in words. I mean, I know I am new in my soccer journey. That said, I did watch, I've watched the World Cup previously. I didn't watch every game like I am this time. Well, minus those that are not or all the ones that aren't at Demon Hours. But man, what a World Cup. I mean, from many levels, from individual performances to just absolutely electric games. And yeah, Mexico fell 3-2, 2-3 to England last night. And now England will face Norway, who has won my heart over. I am still undecided which team I'm going to be pulling for, which my ongoing team I'm going to be rooting for after the World Cup. One thing is for sure is I'm a Haaland fan. He's incredible. He's so fun to watch. And the guy's, I mean, he's 25. He is a lot of crazy stats coming out of the weekend. One was that Haaland now, after 2 more goals last game, has scored 7 goals in his first World Cup. So 7 goals this World Cup. Norway, in the country's history, had 7 goals in the World Cup prior to this World Cup. So he's matched the country's historical goal scoring in his first World Cup, and just does so in like he mossed Brazil. Like Randy Moss had a famous game where he had 3 catches for like 165 yards. I might be off in the yardage. He had 3 catches for like 165 yards and 3 touchdowns. And that's what Haaland did, not just to Brazil, but seemingly does every time he's on the pitch, scores 2 goals after touching it like 10 times. Yeah, Lawyer, he is, not only is he incredible on the pitch, he really is, like, he's a character. He gets social media. I think his personality is just hard not to like the guy. Obviously, the fans love him, but I think even beyond like there's people like you just said, like people seeing his content, like the one GIF where he like looks himself in the mirror and reacts after seeing himself. Like that's escape World Cup Twitter. Seeing that everywhere on feeds. Like my Instagram feed is not a lot of soccer or football content, but I've seen that in my reels multiple times, and other people, doing clips from it and everything. I dropped in the warm this morning. I said we might be witnessing in real time Haaland becoming the most popular athlete on the planet. I didn't think this was possible after Cape Verde's goalie had such a run to the top. He now has more follower. He came in with like, I don't know, 50,000 followers. He now has more followers on Instagram than any other goalie and anyone in the NBA. Like, just incredible how much fandom there is for the sport in the world. There's probably more viral tweets, maybe, but Haaland posted this after the game last night. Well, crying laughing face emoji, and just a selfie. It's got 60 million views. He posted at 6:47 p.m. So it's been not even 14 hours. 60 million views, 2 million likes, 36,000 bookmarks. Like, and it's just a simple selfie that says, well, the guy's becoming an absolute star. I didn't realize I wasn't even following him. I did follow him on Instagram. Maybe that's why I'm getting more Haaland stuff in my Instagram feed. That makes sense. But anyways, long story short, I've been told that I can't root for Man City, that I would be, actually, true story, one of my in real life friends just randomly texted me this morning and says, I've been so hooked on the World Cup. I was screaming when Haaland scored that second goal, and my sister was laughing because 2 weeks ago I didn't know who the guy was, and now he might be my favorite athlete. And I said exact same. I'm all in, deep into Premier League and La Liga rabbit holes. Told I can't choose Man City as my team, but I'm about to buy a Haaland Norway kit. And then he lives like an hour and a half south of me, so I told him I'd come down and we go to some 7 a.m. matches and watch some Premier League together this fall. He said he was also told that regarding can't become a Man City fan, but don't understand why. They said it was like rooting for the Yankees. And I said, yeah, I was told they have no real fans, only bandwagon foreigners, to which he replied a gif, all aboard. So like, I I don't know. I'm torn. Like I probably don't go Man City, but I'm certainly going like Holland is my favorite player, and I don't see that changing. I really wanted to, like I was saying, I was going to get one team in La Liga and root for Barcelona, and then one team in the Premier League, mainly because I wanted to follow Lamine's career for the next decade. And it's not like Holland's old. Holland's 25, is going to be playing, barring good health, playing for the next should play for the next decade as well. But we'll see. I'm not committing to a team yet. I could be swayed or convinced either way, but one thing you're not going to get me off rooting for Holland. Sorry to Dunk Cookie and all our English fans out there. I got a poll for Norway in the in the quarterfinals. I'm not going to hedge. I said yesterday, like my takes yesterday was Brazil and then Mexico to pull off the upset. But even though I said that, even though I thought Brazil would win, I still bet Norway. I bet the Norway money line with a Holland goal, so that hit and paid for the weekend. But I'm not even going to hedge. Like I think I saw England already is slight favorites, but I will be sticking with my guy Holland and rooting for them on. See, that's the 11th. Is that Friday they play? We get it this week now that we're down. I mean, exciting games, but I was enjoying like 2-3 games a day. Here is the remainder of the bracket. France and Morocco. Speaking of burning down Mexico City, they might burn down Paris after this game, regardless of which team wins. That's on the 9th, and the 10th we get the U.S. will be facing Spain or Portugal. After they beat Belgium, thanks to the Balogun's red card getting deferred or suspension getting deferred. Norway, England face off in Miami on, I guess the 11th is Saturday. So the 10th is Friday. Kind of weird, isn't it, that they play on, why is that? That's some backward scheduling. So, yeah, right? So Mexico, Brazil, or I'm sorry, yeah. Norway and England played yesterday on Sunday, the 5th, and they don't have to play again until the 11th. Whereas these two games today are a day later, and then their quarterfinal game is a day earlier. You'd think they would have flip-flopped these two to give them the same amount of break or rest. Granted, but the teams playing each other will have the same rest days, but seems like oh wow, and then even okay, so similarly, the winner of Argentina, Egypt, and Switzerland and Colombia also play on the 11th, and they don't their game isn't until tomorrow. Wow, so just interesting scheduling. I'm not here to question. So we get 2 games on Saturday at 5:00 and at 9:00, and then one game Thursday, one game Friday. No games Wednesday of this week. So we might have to do we're kicking off this football and football show. We might have to do the American football show. Phonics is wanting to see a best ball show. Maybe we do that Wednesday. We will see. But tell me, did your team still in it? Speaking of teams still in it, let me go grab a. Oh, first of all, I'll grab the abstract link for those who want to join us over there, and then the YouTube link as well. And I will drop those in the chat happening right now. So abstract, that's in the chat. I'll also go grab YouTube, drop that in the chat. And then I'm going to go grab an update on our Coffee with Captain Bracket Challenge, which the winner of that wins Community Member of the Month for July. And we'll get a $250 BZ Claw Pool where they can pull a 4 or 5 figure Grail item. Joey says England versus Norway is the battle that's been going on for 1,000 years. Vikings versus Christians. Dort says Holland, Goofy AF, main character energy, Mog Brazil, and what are they going to say? Got completely Erlinged. Let's let me go grab. Also, I'm going to get into the Balogun red card suspension being deferred. A lot of people are like, oh, this is Trump's ruining the sport and the U.S. is ruining the sport. isn't and I said they even said this on it was Donovan or one of the commentators said, "Oh, this is unprecedented." It's not. They've done this multiple times. They've done it 4 other times this World Cup. They've deferred us a red card suspension. Yes, granted, the red cards were in qualifying games, but some of your GOAT, some of those you think Ronaldo's the GOAT, your GOAT got saved by this. Ronaldo was got a dirty elbow, got a red card for it in qualifying, which carried a 3-game suspension, and FIFA deferred the game so that he could play in the group stage. But that just happened. And be like, oh, well, qualifying's not the World Cup. Well, the group stage absolutely is, and that is when they changed they deferred Ronaldo's. So they deferred not 1 but 2 games of the suspension that Ronaldo was supposed to serve during the group stage. They already deferred that plus 3 other players. This isn't the first. It's not the first time it's happened. And at the end of the day, I'm sure I'm biased. I'm rooting for the U.S., but it was a bad call. Like it was shouldn't have been a red card. Certainly shouldn't have carried a 1-game suspension. And give him a penalty, give him a yellow card, but it was just red card was not justified, and they should overturn stuff like that. They shouldn't impact the game by they're going to replay every offsides and calling offsides of someone's jock straps over the over the imaginary line. They should certainly use technology, and further, like some of the takes are like the VAR shouldn't have been used here. As far as like to give that red card when it was like, again, I want to see the best teams, the best players, and outcomes not be dictated by bad or questionable calls. There's also the volume of just total red cards is through the roof this World Cup compared to prior World Cup. So I'm glad FIFA stepped in, and you would Jambert's in the lead. And apologies, I'll check the stage here. We'll get Joey and the others up here. Jambert in the lead heading into quarterfinals, and I don't know. His lead is growing. So Jambert thought he might have a tough go of it, but he actually seems to be pulling away. Let me. People big mad about the Balogun suspension being overturned as well. Here we go. Jambert is in the lead. This is our Coffee with Captain Bracket Challenge. Jambert's in first with 84 points. RCET7 has 79 points, but only one of 2 finals teams remaining. ECT picked Spain and Brazil in the finals. Brazil is certainly not advancing. So RCT, although in second, is probably an underdog, as can't get the same thing with Dort. Dort dropped to 6th, and Dort also had Spain, Brazil in the finals. So took one on the chin with Brazil losing to my guy Haaland. I truly became aware of Haaland like when the World Cup started. Otherwise, I would have had Norway at least in the quarterfinals, if not the final 4. But as of now, I'm tied for 3rd with Scooter and Mike C. Mike and me both have France to win. I've got a France-England final. So, yeah. I don't even think that's possible, actually. Are they both on the same side of the bracket? They are. No, they could still face off. They're on different sides of the bracket. So we're good there. When I looked at it on the app, it said not advancing, but they very, very well could. So I've got England, France, with France winning. Mike has France, Argentina. I'd rather have Argentina than France if I could redo it, or than England if I could redo it. So I think England's going to lose to Norway. Anyways, Jambert's in the lead, and RCT, Mike Campbell, Scooter, CM Lacey, Dort, Sovereign Ape, Zach, all still in the running, I think. Although Jambert pulling away with 84 points. And Jambert, I'm wondering how you're looking on the whole overall contest. I don't even know what whoever wins the big, this is just Coffee with Captain members, and I don't know if there's even a prize for the whole thing, but Man, Thomas, I don't know how you did it. I'm not going to show the screenshot. Riss Bryan's tied for 18th with only 56 points. Thomas, however, yeah, you must just smash buttons because he's got his finals was Curacao and Scotland. Thomas has 14 points in the tournament. No offense, buddy, but that's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. I will get to Joey here in a second, but I want to finish this thought because there are some people big mad about Frosty brought it up originally, and then I saw Banana Rat and a few others chirping back at me. This just happened. No World Cup ban for Ronaldo after Ireland red. Will likely avoid missing Portugal games at the 2026 World Cup, despite his red card in qualifying for an elbowing a Republic of Ireland opponent. FIFA published disciplinary verdict Tuesday that imposed a 3-game ban, which judged his actions as violent conduct and serious foul play. But 2 of the games were deferred for a 1-year probation period. So he served a 1-game ban, one of the 3 games, in its final qualifying game, which was a 9-1 win over Armenia. So again, they clearly didn't need Ronaldo against Armenia, and they just deferred or suspended the other 2 games for the World Cup so that he could play in the group stage. The superstar had been expected to be banned for at least 1 more game in the start of what would be his record 6th World Cup on the sidelines. FIFA cited the disciplinary rules that allow for parts of sanction to be probationary, though in rare cases of a 3-game ban for 2 of them to be deferred. And there was 4 others in the same World Cup where same stuff, like players got a red card. They were supposed to be there's people are saying that Trump interference is the issue. Maybe. Like, I don't like, they said, yes, they said the White House, but then the White House said, no, we did not. Trump didn't make the call. He didn't intervene. Maybe legal got involved. Banana Rat says Balogun's case is sharper because FIFA suspended the automatic World Cup red card ban after Trump called. But like, I think that's fake news. I don't think Trump called him, letting him play Belgium without rescinding the red card. UEFA called it unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable. Trump interference is the issue. Maybe. Like, I don't know if, and it has nothing to do with Trump Kool-Aid. I think shouldn't have been a 1-game ban. FIFA made the right move. Like, it was a questionable at best red card, and they changed it just as they changed the Ronaldo ban that we just talked about. Like, how it gets to the endpoint, like the right move is the right ruling is coming down. And I think, again, I don't see if it was some blatant, had he like punched a guy or elbowed a guy in the face, like what Ronaldo did, that would be different. It was a questionable call at best that, per the rules they shouldn't use VAR to review it anyways. And yeah, there is precedent on this. Trump said he didn't make the call. We'll probably never know whether he did or not. But Joey, what do you think? I'm guessing that you are for Balogun playing tonight and not having to be served the 1-game suspension.
Yes, I came up to talk about something related to soccer, but a little different. But so there's actual video of Messi doing the exact same thing to a player in a group stage game, and it was way more violent and way more like less play on the ball. Didn't even get a yellow card for it. So like this is like when you watch the NBA and they give somebody like a flagrant 2 foul or something because the refs think it's like, didn't make a play on the ball. And then the NBA reviews the video evidence and goes, oh no, precedent for this would just be a flagrant 1. And they lower it to a flagrant 1, right? Like this happens across all sports. We see it in the NFL all the time where guys get ejected from a game or get a penalty for headhunting or something like that in the moment. And then the NFL reviews it and says, you know what? It wasn't as bad as what initially thought, so we're not going to suspend. Or sometimes they review it and say it was worse than what it was. And then they suspend him for even longer, right? Like there's precedent for this in every single sport. And when you saw the Lionel Messi video circulating of him literally stomping on the back of somebody else's leg and there being no yellow card or anything, it's kind of hard for FIFA in this day and age with social media, right, to ignore all of those videos and go, you know what, this guy got a red card for it, could have lost them the game, but it didn't. So, but should we suspend him or should we not, based on what's circulating? And I think it's the right decision. But when we move on, I have something else soccer related.
Yeah, again, it's also like Banana Red saying it's all like it has nothing to do with Trump. Like I disagree with a lot, maybe the majority of decisions and things that he does. I think that's partially. I would put it back on Banana Rat, and I think a lot of the blowback is not because the right decision got made and a questionable at best red card got the suspension deferred like it should have been. It's because of the potential, oh, Trump made a call or Trump sent out a post regarding this. Like, I think that's what has people so upset about this, because if not, you would have had all the Messi fans irate about Ronaldo's suspensions getting deferred. It's the fact that it's like focusing on what actually happened and the ultimate outcome. It's most people are up in arms about it because Trump made a post about it and maybe he called. Like it was a bad, if not questionable call at best. And I shared it here on screen. It wasn't just Ronaldo. You got Otamendi, Casiado, and Tariq Salman. Same thing. They had 1 game match ban, didn't carry over. 1 game match ban, didn't carry over. 2 game match ban for Tariq, moved away from the tournament, and then Ronaldo had his 2 matches suspended. Yes, they were in qualifying versus the tournament itself. What's the difference? The suspended games were supposed to happen during the World Cup, and FIFA made the moves to defer those suspensions or have them not carry over. And it was a questionable call at best that would have taken US's best player out of the quarterfinals. And it was, again, go watch it and tell me, like, it wasn't just Messi. There's been several others. If you go look at several others that don't get called this, and I'm not like, hey, will refs make mistakes? Does everything get called perfectly on the field? No, definitely not. But for players to be suspended over questionable calls where others don't even get a yellow card or any flag or any penalty at all, like that's not great. At the end of the day, like it's the right decision. How we got here, I don't think should be the important thing. It's what should have happened. And he shouldn't have got a red card at all, but he did, and then they suspended it. I don't know. I just, like, everyone keeps going back, well, can Trump call FIFA and pressure them on a suspension? Trump has, this isn't America stacking the deck.
When do we believe everything that, like,
yeah, it's just social media.
Like, do we have a recording of this conversation? Is there caller ID, a screenshot of the caller ID? Like who leaked that Trump called up the FIFA president and pressured him to do this? Like, I don't understand how we just believe everything gets posted on social media.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what if this was, like, here's my question. If this was a Mexican player or Japanese player or, like, and their president called, would it still be a big deal if that was the rumor? Or is this just because it's an American player in America? Like, do they think they're playing favorites because we're the host country? Like,
yes, that's what. Yes, seemingly that's interpreting the here. I'm quoting Banana Red again. How could anyone trust a team that is getting a level playing field against the U.S. on U.S. soil when Trump can call FIFA and pressure them to a suspension? That's not fair competition. It's America stacking the deck and calling it sportsmanship. Like, I don't think it is to make it a Trump issue is like come on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm talking in circles. I don't have anything much else to say on it. But Mike, go ahead and get in here. Thoughts on this? Is it the right call, or is it simply an example of Trump making phone calls and getting his way?
Good morning.
Morning,
It is
GM.
absolutely the right call. I even had this discussion with my son last night, and he's on the opposite side of this. That the call should not have happened in the first place, right? According to FIFA's own rules.
Exactly.
So if all they're doing is righting a wrong, then I don't see the issue. You know, we got to the place where it should be, and that's where we are. So, and it doesn't matter how we got here, as long as they absolutely said, you know what, this was our rule. We can't allow this to happen, because VAR cannot give a red card, cannot be the catalyst for a red card, right? Whatever that specific rule states.
I mean, like,
Does say
it's supposed to be, red card's supposed to be called on the field, right? And
Exactly,
they can use
exactly.
they can use VAR to, because I can't remember which game it was on yesterday, and they ended up giving a penalty. I don't remember what it resulted, maybe a free kick or direct kick. And the commentators, they actually said they're lucky he didn't call that. The ref didn't call it on the field. Otherwise, it would have been a yellow, maybe a red card. But long story short, he didn't get a card, even though the foul was called by VAR, because like you're not supposed to use VAR to issue cards, and it's both cards, right? It's not just red. Like they're not supposed to use review to give any cards, right?
I think if you use VAR to review something like a handball in the box, that could result, because I think a handball in the box is also grounds for a yellow card or a red card if it's intentional. But I think you're reviewing the handball, not reviewing whether or not it's a card. But I could be wrong, and I'm sure Joe's listening, and maybe he'll tell us. But I think that's different than reviewing something like a tackle and saying like, no, give that person a red card for a tackle.
Yeah, I don't. I just it's at the end of the day, was a bad call per FIFA's rules. It shouldn't have been the call. They corrected it. How we got there shouldn't be the issue. It shouldn't be Balogun. Like, it's also like this narrative now is taking over this game tonight. Maybe not, if not this portion of the tournament. It's like it's not. It shouldn't be the narrative. Yes, we're going to get into strategy, selling a bunch of Bitcoin and crypto stuff here in a minute. Appreciate everyone keeping me updated on that. Lawyer in the chat, and we also said Zonko shared the post. Let's get through our cold open here, and then we'll probably just kick off. I do want to talk about Lean Ethereum. Vitalik dropped the new updates, the biggest update since the merge. And Clarity Act is apparently the fight's back on. We thought for a minute there was like a July 4th deadline. Long story short, Senate was expected to circulate a unified final text over the weekend, which pushed Clarity Acts towards a real floor fight before the August recess. So now we're looking at the House Financial Services Committee scheduled a special field hearing for July 17th in New York City. And poly market's been up and down. It was up to 73% likely to get enacted into law this year, down as low as 39%. And we'll jump more into that here in a bit. But it seems like maybe it doesn't pass, but it seems like it's going to get to a floor battle before this August recess. So taking at least the next step. And again, Vitalik unveiling Lean Ethereum, biggest rebuild since the merge. So we'll get into all that and more, including a daily market update here in a bit. But let's get through the remainder of any other thoughts, passionate or otherwise. MM says, great analysis on the red card. I'm fine with FIFA overturning calls after a committee meeting. Not sure what the issue is. Ronaldo, Balogun, happy to have a full teams playing each other. Again, agree. I don't have any issue with the Ronaldo thing getting overturned either. If it's someone like blatantly, like it's penalty enough to the person gets a red card, they're out the remainder of the game. Like if it's blatant, serve the suspension. If it's a questionable call that's not getting called all the time, I don't know. Seems like a okay thing to a committee to meet about it and say, yeah, this player doesn't deserve a suspension. That's how I feel. There's a question on the England one. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it. I think that was actually called on the field, so that's also a big difference. Is if a ref calls it, it's different than using review to then deliver a card. Joey, go ahead and get back in here.
On the soccer subject, I don't know if you saw, but I think when I was searching the other day on Panini blockchain, I was trying to do my best. It's like the filters can be a little confusing. I think the Erling Haaland 1-of-1 was pulled. And with his recent 2 goals against Brazil, his market is absolutely pumping.
I bet.
So I think I saw a 1-of-1 and a to 5 Haaland when I was looking in the marketplace to see like what had been pulled to get an idea of like what's left. So I can't even imagine that person that pulled that Haaland 1-of-1. I don't know. I can't remember if it was. I think it was listed when I looked at it. This is pre-Brazil game. But his market right now, his card market is booming right now.
Yeah, those packs are up to $177. So the $25 packs, we as about as aggressive I've told anyone that this is non-financial financial advice. You should buy these $25 packs because there's almost zero scenario where it sells below mint price and a good chance at 2x, 3x. I never thought it would nearly. I mean, it's 200. You're talking a clean 8x off a pack is pretty bonkers.
It hit. I think I saw when I looked at recent sales for the pack. I think there were some all the way even up to like 198 in the middle of the night, and then it came back down to. I could be wrong, but I think if you go to like sales history, you'll see some in like the mid 190s even, and then I think it came back down.
Here's Haaland's current card market. Some of 10. I should have. This is what I should have done. I should have scooped some of these before he's went bonkers. By the way, I mentioned earlier, I don't think I finished the thought, where it's the first time ever there's been 3 players score 7 goals in a World Cup, and we still have a lot of games to play. I guess all 3 that have scored 7 goals still have at least 1 game remaining. And Kane has 6 goals. Like, there's a very good chance we have not 3 but 4 players score 7 or more goals this cup. So really,
I feel like there's been more goals scored than normal. Like, I'm so used to seeing like 0-0 games. I feel like it's been like an offensive explosion this World Cup.
So 260.
I don't know what the overall stats say, but it feels that way.
269 goals across 92 games. It's like 2.92 per game. Yeah, I think it's a little above, if I'm not mistaken. I think a little above average. Dunk Cookie. I also watched the video with Haaland and his dad, and also might have got my eyes a little watery as well.
Did you see the there's 3 Norwegian players that are playing in their first World Cup? Erling Haaland is one of them, and all 3 of their dads played on the same team in like 1990 something or 1970 something or whatever it was together.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
There is not I don't see any of his of ones. It looks like the lowest. There's some up 25, some up 10s. There's an up 10 with a floor of 2,600, but someone has an offer of 3,200. There's an up 10 with a floor of 25,000. An up 10 of 9 with a floor of 25,000. So his 1-of-1, I don't think has been pulled. Some of 9s have been pulled, but I think the 1-of-1 is still in a pack. That's good. That knowing this is going to get me to rip my remaining packs.
Isn't that black prism, the Erling Haaland black prism? It says numbered /1.
I don't see it. I mean, I'm looking.
So if you go into soccer, and maybe I'm not doing it correctly, but if you go into soccer and then you click collection and you go to the 2026 prism collection, and then sort by hold on.
I mean, they're
sort by floor price, high to low. Isn't that Haaland black prism? it says,
Oh, it is the one. Yeah,
hashtag-
it wasn't showing up when I sorted. You're correct. I don't know. I wasn't finding it, but when I sorted high to low, it does pop up. See, it's currently got an offer of 30 grand. The floor price it's listed for $175,000. I'm having fun ripping these packs. What I wish I would have, there's another legendary from it's just the base field level black from the 24-25 Panini Select packs. It's listed for 30K. So there is 2 1-of-1s, 30K, or if you want the legendary from the World Cup, it's 175K. Like wild. That same image you can get in Epic. The Brace Prism Gold is floor price of 50K, and it's of 10. Just bananas.
There's the new actual Prism, like the IRL packs. People have started opening them, and there's been a bunch of mangas pulled, which is like the case hit. There's multiple messy sales for like 13K. There's been like a Yamal sale for like 11, and those are like mangas, and there's more than one of those. So I don't see how this Haaland 1-of-1. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't take 30K. Like that's a lot of money to pass up on a $25 pack. I'm just not sure, because if they lose the next match, I know his market is strong and it's going to be strong for a long time because he's young. It's just, man, how do you not cash in on that 30K, on him winning and scoring 2 goals and take 30K? I don't know.
I'm glad the 1-of-1 was pulled. Otherwise, I'd probably rip my remaining packs. In hindsight, although I've having fun ripping them, I should have flipped a couple packs to buy. I still think the move, and I may still do this. I think the move is to pick up some of the first off the line packs, which meant they were $150 at retail compared to $25 for the other packs. The $25 packs are up nearly over 7x to 177, and the first off the line packs are up a little over 2x, but they went from 120 to or 150 to 320. There's one more card each pack. There's 5 cards in the pack, but more so is you're guaranteed a non-silver parallel card, which is a 1-of-1 up to 124. You're guaranteed an exclusive base parallel card that is either a so you get one card that's a of 25, of 49, of 1 or 1-of-1. You get 2 just regular base silver cards, and then you get another of either 1-of-1 up to 124, and then you get a of 11, of 9, of 7, or 1-of-1. So worst case scenario, you're pulling an of 11, and I think that could be the play to get. Now you might pull it of 11 of a mediocre defender, and it's not worth the price to pack. But I'm really enjoying the collecting, and it makes me. I'm probably going to find, if I see some. I've ripped like I don't remember what they were. I ripped a couple of hobby boxes that were just like okay runs. Like it wasn't like the Grail.
Wait, you ripped hobby, the expensive ones?
No.
Megas are the retail. Megas are like those are usually like $80 to $100. Hobbies are the ones that are like 300 plus long way.
Yeah, these would have just been, I guess, a mega box.
Yeah, hobbies usually come with like most hobby boxes come with like a guaranteed auto or 2. They're more expensive.
The ones, yeah. So I had it must have been a top chrome mega, and then a Prism, Panini Prism. Like that's where I pulled the Lamine, the fractal. It's like maybe a $25 card, but was in the first pack I opened, so I was excited to see that. And then last night's player of the match, I pulled a Bellingham rookie card, which it's not a, it's just a base top chrome, so it's not anything crazy, but just his from the Champions League. Anyways, Steve, I saw you out there. I missed you, buddy. I am all on. I don't know if you've seen my journey here, but I just sent one of my in real life friends text me this morning saying that he's all in on the World Cup, and he was screaming after the last Haaland goal, and his wife thinks he's nuts because he didn't know who the guy was 2 weeks ago. I was like, same, man. This has been my journey. He lives in Naples area. So I said, I'm going to be, we're going to have to do some 7 a.m., 8 a.m. breakfasts and watch some Premier League here in the fall. I'm truly giddy about it. Like we're going to do a second show, which instead of just being best ball, it's going to be football and football. And half the show we'll talk about Premier League stuff. The other half we'll talk about NFL stuff. Not sure how the crossover show is going to go, but I am, whereas football, I have deep knowledge and so, some player take edges. Definitely do not have the edge when it comes to non-American football, but I'm gonna share my journey along the way and learning more about it. But it's like I've been in on every slate here in the World Cup, and the other thing I think that gets me excited is, and maybe why it didn't stick for me in like prior World Cups, like why I didn't like where to start. And like, yeah, I know the two best leagues are Premier League and La Liga. I'm probably going to choose one team to pull for in each of those leagues, maybe, and then I'll let next year, like Champions League, maybe I cross one out and becomes. But it's similar to like my NFL football fandom. I'm not like a diehard fan of any one team. I grew up a 49ers fan, and like I'll still pull for them, but also pull for the Browns. I'll pull for the Bucks. I'll pull for the Colts. I'll pull for the Bears. Basically anywhere I've ever lived. Like I'll kind of root for those teams. But at the end of the day, I just want to see good quality games and entertainment and a way to get some action on the sport that I enjoy. And with NFL, it's been daily fantasy sports, it's been best ball, it's been daily snake drafts on Underdog, and it adds, like Red Zone adds so much. And that's where I don't know yet how, like the World Cup's been amazing because most up until this point, I could get 2 or 3 games in a day. And so it makes a nice little slate where I'm vested in each of the games because I've got, a player or multiples. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out when it comes Premier League time. Like, will they do the slates?
They have Premier League. They have like 6 games on a Saturday.
Okay.
So there's going to be plenty of
perfect slates. Awesome.
Like there's always like a couple games like during the week, I believe. But like, I believe Saturday is like always the big day where there's like 6 games.
Awesome. Well,
for you to be able to like run like a daily fantasy on.
And that I didn't, like, maybe I'm guessing they probably did have DFS on like DraftKings back the last time the World Cup was played 4 years ago. They definitely didn't have anything on Underdog, and that's been my go-to now. It's like I have fired a couple of like DFS builds on FanDuel, but most of I'm firing over a dozen snake drafts on Underdog. It's fun. It's enjoyable. They're quick also because unlike NFL best ball, it's like 18 or 20 rounds. Like you're committing 20 to 40 minutes for a draft, where a 6-player Underdog draft with, depending on how many games on a slate, like 4 to 6 other drafters or 3 to 5 other drafters, it is, they're quick. Like by the time I could walk my dog, and by the time I'm back, I've already done a draft. So it's like, it's quick. And then you get a fun sweat. I'm really enjoying that. And I think, whereas, am I going to have the player take knowledge or edge like someone like Steve or, diehard fans have been following the league for 20 years? No, but I have a feeling that, first of all, Underdog, DraftKings, like these, FanDuel, they're US only. So I'm competing against others who I know there's others that have been fans longer than I have and that may have that edge, but it does come down. There's data available. I understand the game theory portion of it. Like it's been a profitable World Cup for me now, primarily due to understanding game theory of these drafts and how to structure your teams and whatnot. And so I think as I learn, I may have an edge over other Americans or be equal on player take knowledge. But where I have edge, I think, is the game theory element and the fact that I'm naturally up early. Like, I don't know, like how often is you get a game that starts at 7 a.m. Eastern time and, there's a late scratch or there's a lineup change that people are, the people I'm playing in these tournaments against are still sleeping, and I can make those last minute changes to take advantage of, the new news and information. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm genuinely pumped to, like, I'm not trying to rush the World Cup. The World Cup's been amazing, but I'm really excited to like play my first Premier League season of fantasy and really get in deep to the storylines. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Mike, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah. I was really happy about my Bellingham Epic Panini card that I have after last night for sure. I was happy with it before, but maybe the English press will be easier on him than they have been. But as far as a Premier League team goes, like I mentioned before, don't go based on history of politics or money or anything like that, right? Just enjoy what you watch. And tonight's game with Belgium, Kevin De Bruyne, midfielder, just left Man City a year ago, and he'll be on the Belgium team tonight. And Jeremy Doku, he's another forward that plays for Man City alongside Haaland. So keep an eye out for him. He's very exciting, fun to watch.
I am. We also would be remiss if we didn't at least mention that Lukaku. Am I pronouncing the name correctly?
Yeah.
Lukaku,
who famously was the one who got called offsides by VAR for his, can't make this up, his male part, which rhymes with or sounds very similar like his name, being offsides. He plays for this Belgium team as well. And when I talk about back to like the quick fantasy spin, and then we will get into strategy selling Bitcoin and daily market update. But like where I feel I have an edge, like he's going late in these drafts, at least was as of last night. I haven't done any this morning, the $3 filled. And so I'll fire some $10 drafts after the show. He was going like some drafts even going undrafted because he's not expected to start again. But yet, if you look at the Vegas odds, he has the best odds for Belgium to score a goal. It's like it seems so simple, but it's like this sort of stuff that there's a lot of, and maybe there's more, I'm sure there's more casuals right now because it's the World Cup, myself included, that a lot of these people that are in these drafts probably aren't if it's just a Premier League game. Like and especially not only the World Cup, it's a US game tonight. So you got a lot of, I'm sure a lot of homers or people that just want an extra sweat. And so they're just firing into a $3 draft, not thinking anything of it. And they look at projected starting lineups and they see that Lukaku is not scheduled to, or not projected to start. And so they're not drafting the guy. It's like, even if he comes off the bench for 30 minutes in the second half, he's still likely to score a goal. Well, maybe not likely isn't the right word. He still has the best odds to score a goal, even if he doesn't play the full game. And therefore, like as like a last round pick, you've got Vegas is smarter than the casuals playing. I'll say that. And if they say he's likely to score a goal or the best odds to score a goal, he probably is. Whether he starts, and where conversely, I don't know how you say the guy's name, but the other guy starting at striker or projected to start at striker, Charles D. Ketelare, is getting drafted ahead of Lukaku, and he's just not nearly as good of a player. I don't know why they sometimes don't start their best scorers, or it's like I'm like trying to relate it to other sports I know deeper. What's that?
Fitness.
Yeah. So it's like the sixth.
So Romelu Lukaku is like older now, so he doesn't
can't play the full 90
to play for 90 minutes. So instead, what they do is they'll bring him in the second half when everybody else is tired, and he'll give them 30 great minutes because he's such an elite scorer. They feel like if they bring him in with 30 minutes left in the game, everybody else is tired. He's like running on 100%, and it gives him a better chance to score versus starting him early in the game when everybody else is fresh and having to sub him out 10 minutes into the second half because he's just exhausted.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like they want their scorer to come off the bench late and have fresh legs down the stretch. So yeah, I get it. But again, also the guy should be getting drafted in these drafts. He's not, and that's edge. And that's I'm not claiming to have edge yet, but I feel as if American football in the fantasy streets is as close to being solved as any game of skill out there. The people who play it seriously, who have serious, capital on the line or material amount of volume on a weekly basis, they're using the same projection systems, the same optimizers, they're running 10,000 simulations on the slate. Like it's the daily fantasy NFL football has become like very, very much like GTO. It's like you're playing poker online, and every person at the table has a heads up display that's telling them the exact odds and exactly how to play every hand. that's how the American football has got. I don't think soccer is there yet. I think it is still there. Still could be some edge to be found, and maybe it's just pure beginner's luck. Maybe I'm just running good, and it's just purely luck, and there's going to be sharks out once Premier League kicks off. But as of now, I'm having a lot of fun, and looking forward to growing my fandom. The Haaland jersey is getting ordered. Go ahead, Joey. One more thought on this. Oreo and Grotesque, if you want to get in on this conversation, just throw up a hand. Let me know you want to get in on it. And then and we are going to move into a daily market update and talk about strategy dumping Bitcoin.
Yeah, two quick things. So I think it's awesome that Panini brought first off the line to the digital packs.
Agreed.
Because IRL, they're like, if you go on eBay or anywhere and you look up like the price of FOTL stuff over, regular stuff, it's always significantly more expensive because of, the fact that you've got a better opportunity to hit, numbers and autos and whatever like that. So I think it's super cool that they brought that same IRL feature to the online packages. Second, for those of us that have been watching soccer for a long time, this Belgian team, if they don't win, they're going to go down. I mean, if they haven't already gone down as the most disappointing team of all time, I don't know. So this Belgian team, this is like supposed to be the golden age of Belgian soccer with Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku. Like they had this laundry list of players, the last like 3 World Cups that were like, and they were just supposed to be absolutely, completely world dominators with the talent they had on that team. And they've just been like significantly underperformed on the international stage. And this is supposedly, most people think like their last chance with like those guys that like 12 years ago, like people thought that they were going to be the most dominant team for like the next 8 to 12 years, and they haven't won anything. So if they don't, I mean, they're already probably one of the most disappointing teams of all time based on the talent and like where like the pundits and the analysts were saying how good they were. But if they don't get past the USA, it's definitely going to stamp them as probably the most underperforming, disappointing country/team of all time.
I was surprised. US is actually a slight favorite. I mean, it's basically a coin flip, but a slight favorite after. I guess I didn't look at the line early. Maybe they've been a slight favorite the whole time, but they are. I was just looking at the world rankings currently. So they've got this is apparently FIFA's current world rankings has US as number 11th ranked team in the world, Belgium as number 12, which I did not. I thought Belgium was still ranked ahead of the US.
There's no confidence in Belgium's team. Like if you go back like 12 years, they were, and again, I'm going off memory. They were the ranked number 1 or 2 team in the country in the world for a long time.
Oh, really?
Hit the bed every time internationally.
I didn't realize they were that good or that highly ranked. One thing is like on my list now. Not only do I want to see a World Cup game, I've done the American sport final, the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals. I need to get a World Cup game in my life. I think the other thing, like, and it would have to be like if I go, I would be rocking a Mexico jersey. But I like new bucket list item is going to catch a game at Azteca, a Mexican international game. The energy last night, like absolutely electric, is definitely something that I must experience at some point in my life. Oria, did you want to get on the football conversation before we move on?
Yeah, I'm just wondering why no one is drafting Portugal players.
I mean, people are. I mean, Ronaldo is I think he's gone like 3 on today's slate, but yeah, they definitely are.
I hate seeing games like that, like Portugal, Spain, like early on. It's like you always want to see like the better teams later on in the tournament. It's like, man, one of the better teams is going to get knocked out now.
Yeah, I mean, but we're getting to the point. It's like almost every game There's a few, like I think Argentina should win pretty handily. France looks like on another level, but Morocco's been playing strong as well. Yeah, ADP tonight, Lamine is 1.2 going first most drafts, and then his teammate Mikel going 2, then Ronaldo 3, Balogun 4, Pulisic 5, De Bruyne 6, Bruno the mid for Portugal 7, and then Pedro Porro is the first defenseman off the board for Spain, and then Simon the first goalie. Yeah, it's let's do this though. I know we got an hour long cold open there on all things soccer. We'll continue at least throughout the World Cup, and then you're gonna have to tune into the sports show if you want my other soccer takes. But Hans, thank you very much for the generous Pingu tip over there. Greatly appreciated. Joey Diego agrees with you. The last time, the last World Cup was prime for Belgium. Now they're cooked. And he also weighed in on the red card situation. He said it's a horrible situation, horrible precedent. Everyone who loves football since ever feels disturbingly wrong. Which I asked, how do you feel about the Ronaldo red card suspensions also being deferred? To which he said also not cool either. So yeah, not maybe the exact specifics are unprecedented, but suspensions have certainly been for World Cup games have certainly been deferred or not reduced previously, and I do think this is more of a deal because it's the U.S., it's in the U.S., and Trump made a post about it. But if you go back to the what actually took place, I think it's just. Anyways, all that being said,
did you see the English player who broke his arm celebrating the win last night? How sad is that for that guy? 36, probably his last World Cup. He hasn't played a ton, but he has played, and he broke his forearm.
Yeah, guy doesn't play at all, doesn't get in the game. He gets a yellow card for yelling at the ref from the sideline. So he gets a yellow card, and after the game, jumps in the stands to celebrate. And as he's getting back in the field, trips over the digital advertiser that goes around the field and falls and breaks his arm. I mean, it sucks, but not a good day for that guy. That said, appreciate everyone has zero interest in the World Cup. If not, I'm curious why. I genuinely, even if you're not a soccer fan, a football fan, why, for those of you who are just completely out on the World Cup, why? Is it just not sports at all? Is it just not feeling it? Because I think I'm definitely not the only one. Me and my friend who texted me this morning are definitely not the only ones who have, this has pulled us in. I think I don't know how to get ahead of it. I don't know how to capitalize on it. But I think football, soccer is going to be up only for a while. I think this is a major moment I know worldwide it's the most popular sport on the planet. I get that. In the States, it's been not an afterthought, but it's people talk, oh, what are your major sports? And most people are going to go NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and hockey would be the first 4 that are mentioned before anyone ever talks about MSL. And I'm not saying MSL is going to be nearly as competitive as the Premier League. It's not. But I think there's going to be a lot more interest in MSL. I think there's going to be a lot more interest in Americans watching the Premier League and getting, picking teams. And I think that sort of growth is almost inevitable coming out of this World Cup. And I can't really pin down why, other than it's been incredible play and some incredible narratives. You've got, a couple of GOATs who are, or debated as the GOATs. I still side with Messi there, but who it's their largest, likely their final World Cup. Yes, it's the largest sport in the world already, but up only in the U.S. To rephrase what I said there. I think in the U.S., football, soccer fandom is going to peak. I don't remember, and I was younger, but I don't remember this sort of momentum and groundswell around the last time the World Cup was in the U.S. As we shared, I think last week on the show, MLS had just been founded, but they hadn't even started playing yet. I think it was 2 years after the World Cup was when MLS became a thing. I think we're also going to start seeing more player. There was already this Polish guy that just announced he's coming to play in the MSL, I think for Chicago Fire. Rumors are the Cap Verde goalie is signing with Inter Miami, and I think there's a chance. I think we see more of the superstars in the twilight of their careers. They're not going to forgo their peak seasons and come to play in the U.S. But I think like their retirement tour, so to speak, I could see more of them following this path and what Beckham and Messi and others have done to grow their personal brand in this country, where despite it being the most popular sport in the world, it's been a distant fifth in the U.S. And I think partially why I think there's going to be this big change and why I think it'll be up only in the US for a while is NBA product sucks right now. Major League Baseball is better with the rule changes, but most people aren't watching baseball games, especially younger generations. They might go to a game, but they're not tuning in and watching, the Cubs on WGN or the Braves on TNT. I just don't think they have the younger audience. It's not built for socials. They don't have, they have amazing stars in Ohtani and Judge, just name two, but they're not on, they just don't have the personality. They're not the main character as someone like a Haaland is, like you got an 18-year-old phenom in Lamine, not even mentioning the 17-year-old Mora for Mexico. Like there's a lot of more personalities, and I'm not just talking because they all have more followers because it's a global sport. It's like just go like the Haaland gets social media, and I think that sort of stuff, when there's entertainment around, there's entertainment between the games. We don't have that in Major League Baseball, or hardly at all. Maybe we have it in the NBA. By the way, LeBron's going back to Cleveland. That's I don't do a lot of futures. I don't do a lot of future stuff on Polymarket and Kalshi. I got LeBron going to Cleveland at like 17 cents. And I didn't check it this morning, but he spent the weekend in Akron, and it flew up. It went up over 60. Right now it's at 58%. Golden State's second at 17, then Miami at 11. I'm sorry, I got in at 23 cents. It's now at 58. So this is like getting something early in Kalshi. This might be my best prediction yet. But you keep pulling me back with the sports conversation. I'll blame chat, but Riggs is one of the few that says he's not been entertained at all by the World Cup, watched a few games and just boring to him. There's been a couple of games where kind of just ho-hum, but man, most have been like, I'm guessing you didn't watch the Mexico game last night. I don't know how you could watch that Mexico game or the Norway. Both games yesterday were actually, I guess someone could say that the Brazil-Norway game was boring until Haaland's goals, because it was just a lot of like a surprising tactic for Brazil. They were like playing a counterattack. They were just like playing like defensive and letting Norway just pass the ball around. Wasn't a lot of runs, a lot of attacks, but most games have been, I feel, pretty electric. Zane too not getting in, and Zane's fading it because his guy Cooking with Nick has been featured like before every game. I don't know if you caught this, but he has done the Nick, the chef, the YouTube chef that Zane worked with, is the one that does the before the games, and like in the pre-games they do meal battles, like who has better food. And so yeah, you've been missing that, Zane, or maybe that's with intent. If LeBron spent all weekend in Akron and did this tour and went to yoga and taking all these selfies just to then go play sidekick to Steph Curry next year, I'll throw something like that. It would be cruel. I think he's going to Cleveland. I don't know when it's going to get announced, but I think it's happening. All that said, enough sports for this morning. I agree. The games have been amazing. I too can't remember enjoying sports events as much as this. I'm right with you. The stars are performing. That's part of what is so exciting and electric about it. Is it's not just any three people have scored 7 goals for the first time ever. It's the elites. Like the stars are doing their thing. And I just, between what on the pitch and between games, the fans are awesome. Like the Norway celebration, the row, maybe the best post-game celebration of all time. Like just so much to enjoy about it from my perspective. I know it's not for everyone, but Mayhem, I am going to watch a game with Telemundo on in the background because that even adds to the entertainment. All that said, for real this time, no more pump fakes. This is the Daily Market Update.
Coffee brewing. Yeah, the market's in play. Charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain. Market update on the way.
Alrighty, let's start with tokens. We talked about Sailor dumping his Bitcoin. I'm not sure this is why things are down a little bit this morning, but they are. Maybe we blame Sailor. Maybe it's just market. Fear and Greed's up to 25, which not great, but up a little bit from where it was. But looking at the last 24 hours, Bitcoin down 1.59% to 61,730. ETH down 1.55% to 1736, although that's up from where we ended the show on Friday. BNB down 2.6%, XRP down 2%, Solana down 1.89, Hyperliquid down 0.85 at 68.89. Again, also up from where we were on Friday. The winners on the day, I saw that Lighter had a run. Lighter up, where's it at? Did it already lose its pump? That's wild. When I searched this a few seconds ago, Lighter was up like 4 or 5% on the day. Aave's up 2%. Now I'm curious. It's still up. No, holy cow, it lost its whole pump. So it went up when I checked it at the beginning of the show, it was up 5%. And now it's actually down 1% on the day. I'm not sure what led to the sell-off, but went from having a good day to a down day pretty quickly. Yeah, at midnight, it was $2.70, and now it's $2.36. No idea why. We'll blame Sailor on that one as well. That said, heading over to NFT land, let's take a look at, this is sorted by daily volume. Apes down 1% to 1.1. Azuki up 31% on 77 ETH in volume, 1.285. I know they launched their TCG, but why? Does anyone know what? Was there a big sweep? Was what led to the Azuki pump? I saw someone just bought one. Dort, did you just did Dort FOMO into an Azuki? Is that yours, Dort? So it looks like Dort might have picked up an Azuki, and then all his collector friends followed with a sweep. I don't know, but that's I was not expecting to see Azuki up 31% today. Apparently the market likes the TCG. If there's anything else out there as to what led that big pump today, let me know. Etherrock, we had an Etherrock sell. They're down 11% on the day, but floor is still 52 ETH. Looks like one sold for 41. Now the floor is at 52. Pudgies are up 2% on the day to 4.58. Mutants up 2.8% to 1.41. Hypers flat. Normies up 6% to 0.38. Sam Spratt's Mask of Lucy up 17%. VFriends up 0.5% to 1.89. Azuki Elementals also pumped on the day. They must have mentioned something. Either it was a big sweep or they tied something to the TCG or what Jort just added to his collection. No idea why the pump. Was eyeing a clean one for a while. The Elementals up 24% to 0.1. That's what I should do. If I'm going to track these TCGs and get into it a little bit, I probably should go grab an Elemental while they're 0.1. 100 sales in the last 24 hours. 10 ETH in volume. Looking, Racers up 17%. It's one of these newer mints. It's a 0.088. Murakami Flowers up 28%. I wonder if there's some anime announcement or something. I'd be curious. If anyone has any details on why those pumped, let me know. Rock Bottom up another 8% down to 0.01. Angela, who got proposed or got engaged on the top of New York Empire State Building, her collection up again another 15% now to 4.6. You love to see it. I mean, low supply, low volume, but there was a 4 ETH sale, making the floor now 4.6. And Cool Cats over the weekend. We said Friday, Klon got seemingly unceremoniously exited from the board, from the team. I caught part of one of the co-founders who was there, got exited prior and then just got brought back a while ago. He was speaking and he made it seem more of like a mutual decision. And Klon wanted to go do work on some IP that wasn't Blue Cat and do some different stuff. And so they decided to go a different direction. I don't know how I feel about it. Floor's up 10% on the day to 0.17. So market responded fairly well to the change there. But yeah, I don't know. If anyone has any, I'll maybe go grab some links. I'll share some more thoughts on it. If anyone has any feelings one way or the other on Klon leaving Cool Cats, let us know. I'm a little surprised to see the floor pumping, but maybe the team starts getting more engaged in the space and doing some rounds. They're forcing pets evolution and sub collections. I'm not sure what that means, but making some changes there. And while Sailor is selling off his Bitcoin, Tom Lee doing the opposite. Sailor sold about $250 million worth of Bitcoin, while Tom Lee Bitmine bought $74 million worth of Ethereum. In total, they're now over 10 billion and rapidly approaching that 5% of total supply. They're 4.8%. Tom Lee continues his long, extremely high projections of ETH. This is the post from Strategy saying they sold 3,588 Bitcoin for 216 million to fund dividends on our digital credit securities. As of July 5th, we hold 847,775 in our Bitcoin reserves and 2.5 billion in our USD reserves. I think this is bullish Bitcoin. I think some of it's been overhanging is Sailor and Strategy. There wasn't supposed to be a single figure with Bitcoin. Like the fact that he could sell at any time, the fact that they're holding so much and using creative financing to acquire the Bitcoin. I think it's been a cloud. And what if Sailor gets liquidated? What if Strategy decides to sell? Well, the first one was like 32 Bitcoin or something non-material. Yeah, $250 million is not nothing. But as far as percentage of their holdings, it's still pretty minimal. I mean, 3588 into 843,775 is less than 1%, like less than 0.5%. So again, $250 million, not nothing. Very small percentage of their entire holdings. But I think what this does is becomes less of the narrative around Bitcoin as they sell some, they showed that they're not going to get liquidated when they need funding to pay dividends. They're going to do that. They'll sell a little bit of Bitcoin. And is this why Bitcoin's down a little bit on the day? Some but it's not crashing the price. It's not, he's not going to get liquidated. It's not going to go the space isn't going to freak. I mean, actually the space freaked out more when he sold 32 Bitcoin than the space is freaked out on the 35,100. Mayhem adds he plans to sell 1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. They announced it a week or so ago. So this is just part of that. So this is, about a 1/5 of what of what they plan to sell. So it's, there's going to be more sales coming. And I think that the fact that this happened and everyone's still here, it's not, it's not going to send Bitcoin to zero. It's not going to, Strategy is not getting liquidated. I think all this is a positive. Sovereign Ape added, people are just loving the Azuki TCG, no other catalyst. That's pretty impressive. If so, people are buying is that the thesis playing out in real time? If that is the case of people, loving the game, loving the consumer product, and then finding their ways back to the OG assets, the rookie cards. Yeah, I agree, Mario. I think it is bullish that he's selling for a few reasons, but I think one, to get past this psychological hurdle that, I don't want to buy Bitcoin because Sailor could dump on us at any point. And it's bigger than, even though it's 800 and some thousand is a ton of Bitcoin, it is still small in the big scheme of things. The 1 in a million said his kids would rather watch a Savannah Bananas game than a Cubs game. It's so much more fun. I'm old, so I still watch it, but it's tough for the kids. Yeah, I just think baseball has lost the younger generation, and I don't know how they get it back. I still enjoy the game, but I don't know. I just don't know how they get it back. Catching up here on the chat. Appreciate everyone who's adding to the show today. Some others, I'm going to hold on getting back into the Balagoon red card conversation because I don't want to derail us once again. But that is our market update news. I don't know where we go from here other than up, down, or we chop for a bit. But I agree with Frosty's. I think this is bullish. Sailor selling some and it not going to zero. I think a good move that it's less about Sailor buying Bitcoin and more about the original thesis and store value. Other happenings. Let me pull up Vitalik's post here, and we'll give everyone the update on maybe this is why Tom Lee decided to buy another 74 million of ETH. Vitalik posted a recent update, and let me pull up the actual X search. Continues to be not great because I'm just looking for the only Vitalik on this app I follow, and it wants to show me everything else. There we go. So 5 hours ago, he shares this. If we want to make the lean Ethereum consensus chain aggressively more lean and add strong validator privacy, ZK unlinked deposits from staking activity from withdrawal and re-anonymize stakers every day, here's the path. And he shares this blog post that I'll share here now. I'm not going to read the entire thing in great detail, rather to paraphrase or to summarize. He basically the TLDR, and if you want to, I'll pin this up top if you want to read the whole article by all means. But state accounting and the status quo chain, a lot of technical stuff here. Again, I'm not going to read all this because it is relatively technical, but to paraphrase this lean Ethereum roadmap, he's calling it Ethereum's biggest redesign since the merge, 3 to 4 year overhaul of nearly every core layer, aimed at doing it without breaking existing apps. Quantum resistance and privacy become defaults, and a shift to recursive Starks for lighter verification, capping today's flexible state while adding scalable state types and eventually moving beyond the current EVM. Threaded through upcoming forks like Glamsterdam and Hagoda, with post-quantum infra targeted around 2029. Timing helped the narrative. ETH is up on the week, so down on the day, but it's up 12% on the week. Though reporting notes that the roadmap landed into an already strong week rather than causing the pump. And I would agree with that, as it's down slightly on the day. So 4-year rebuild, rebuild the plane in mid-flight, as they would say. Is this, is he a visionary, or is this simply the Wall Street pitch needing results now, not in 2029? Quantum safe by default. Is Vitalik ahead of the thread here, or solving a 2030 problem that L2s solve already? I don't know about that. And I don't know. Is this lean Ethereum approach, is this change making you more bullish or less bullish on ETH? I think not to make it PvP versus Bitcoin. It's not, but I think this is important stuff to get ahead of. Also knowing that they are building this airplane in mid-flight, so you can't wait until it has to be done. Getting ahead of the quantum issue now, addressing privacy now, and this is also why I felt that, or I struggle getting the Zcash thesis. I get it from a theoretical standpoint, but I think when it comes to like real life, I don't know as if I don't see people using Zcash, the masses using Zcash for what it is. It's just clunky. It's hard to use. I think we'll see newer technology. We'll see things like Ethereum update and solve for what Zcash is attempting to solve for today. If any of you big brains have any other thoughts on the extremely lean chain or Vitalik's blog post here, feel free to join the conversation either in the chat or come up on stage. I don't have anything else to necessarily add today other than I think it, like, the highest level makes sense that, making some big moves, doing it now, nothing, we shouldn't be surprised or I don't think set back by, it's a multi-year build, it's normal. I don't know. I think I don't think ETH's going anywhere. I don't think Solana's going anywhere. I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere. I think they're all very different and can all be used for different things. And I do think that there is maybe still the opportunity for a startup to come and capture like activity for the masses. I maybe, I think much more likely is it'll be more really use case specific chains or private chains or institutional chains that'll be very specific use cases. I still see a world where a lot of them are L2s. I remain hopeful that Mega ETH can land some killer dApps. Unrelated but related, I saw Monad is surprisingly, like, token price has performed surprisingly well since their TGE in a time where most other crypto has been down. Mega ETH or Monad has actually done fairly well. It's held up, like, I want to say about 90% of the price from their ICO, which pretty incredible in this current market. But I still haven't seen them land any novel dApps or anything that's, oh, this is why you need to go use Monad over any of these other chains. So yeah, I think it's good moves. I don't know if it really changes anything in the short term. Long term, like, if others get hit by quantum stuff or privacy becomes even a bigger deal, then it'll be one of those things in hindsight. People will be glad that, they started thinking about this and making these moves when they did. And I still think that is the one, maybe, now that if we can get past sailors selling Bitcoin, I think the quantum concern probably becomes one of, if not the top concern for Bitcoin, is what happens in that world, because they don't have a foundation or a team like Vitalik working. Yes, I know there's core developers, but most are, it's just very different structure. And, we think 3-4 years is a long overhaul and upgrade for ETH. Even harder to do that in the Bitcoin world. Would take even longer. As I'm talking about this, I see Cointelegraph. They put this out over the weekend. ETH now controlling 87% of the stablecoin supply. Like, payment processing, stablecoins is not exciting, but very real use case. And we see things like OpenUSD launch. And I think it just is a sign that this is Ripple. I mean, again, not that XRP is talked about by a lot. We don't talk about it much here, but it's now legal tender across Europe. We talked about the MiCA issue where Tether basically can't transact with Tether on exchanges, like on exchanges that are honoring rules, regulations in Europe across, I think, 30 countries. So just after that Tether gets the axe, the CSFX, I don't know why it's so hard. They upgraded Ripple's preliminary crypto asset license to a full MiCA CASP authorization. This was just as of today. So making Ripple fully compliant to offer end-to-end regulated crypto and stablecoin payments to banks, fintechs, and corporations across all 30 EEA countries. Combined with Ripple's existing EU electronic money institution license, European institutions can now plug into its full payments and stablecoin stack through a single integration for the first time. It's the follow-through on June 23rd's green light letter and was the most posted crypto stories on X overnight. This is talking about Ripple. take that for a grain of salt, because there's the Ripple army will go nuts anytime there's any positive Ripple news. That said, I think this is actually, some are going like overboard and saying, oh, it's now legal tender across Europe. It's not exactly what happened, but it is a service provider license, which, is a big deal when you're seeing other pressure be applied to Tether and those that aren't, haven't played the regulatory games. So who knows what, I'm not saying rush out. Please don't go rush out and buy XRP because we just shared this. But my overarching point is that payments are a big deal. Stables are a big deal. And globally, not just in the US, not just USDT, not just USDC or OpenUSD. This is real world use case seemingly that the train has left the station. Like there's going to be a point, I don't know if it's 2 years from now, if it's 5 years from now, if it's 10 years from now, that you'll go use not us that are here, but people will go use, a credit card like normal. And on the back end, those payments are getting settled with stablecoins on some blockchain network. Like, I think that it's better payment rails than what exists today, especially when you talk about cross-border and lower costs. Like it seems to be happening, and exciting. While it's not exciting, it's an exciting time to see this stuff happening. Machiavelli, appreciate the shout out for Mutant Monday here. Big day on the agenda. Got obviously Coffee with Captains live right now. He's got a Flingers on flinging at the clubhouse at 3:30 Eastern today. Quirky's community game at 5. Mutant Monday at 6 p.m. hosted by Stella and Leo and the Mutant Cartel, and the Mutant Mocktails at 8 p.m. Eastern. Other Side Calendar is where it's at. OtherSideCalendar.apechain.com. I buried my cold open lead today. I meant to share this. I completely forgot. Is very fitting as we talk about soccer exploding and many like myself diving deep in the rabbit hole and full blown fans and things like Major League Baseball not being as popular amongst the kids or the youngsters. I will be watching the US-Belgium game tonight, but I'll be watching it from my cell phone. Probably part of the first half, I'll be watching it from the Trop, and we'll watch the second half on the drive home. Because last week I bought tickets. Tonight they're doing a Venezuelan Heritage Night, and you get a Venezuela themed jersey, and so I bought a couple tickets to. My girlfriend knows we're going. She doesn't know it's Venezuelan Heritage Night, and I just thought as she's been I say it's not like she's been depressed, but the tragedy down there, the earthquakes it's done it's on her mind every day, and her got a lot of friends, family. Fortunately, all of her close friends and family are safe, but a lot of others are going through this aftermath of. And you can imagine and her algo, her feeds are full of the stuff. They're still finding bodies 11 days later. I think I heard the death toll now is over 3,500. So this is on the magnitude of a 9/11 in terms of humans lost to a tragedy, and they don't have near the resources or the ability to bounce back from something like this as we do here in this country. And anyways, long story short, I thought it'd be nice to. They had this plan before the earthquake. Obviously, Tampa does this for, I think they do it at least every year for the last couple of years. Anyways, bought a couple tickets tonight, not realizing that the U.S.-Belgium be playing tonight. And so we're watching Spain-Portugal, and then we're hitting the road, going to the game. And we'll definitely be we might have an empty stadium, as I feel like most of the sports fans will be watching the World Cup tonight. But yeah, I had a good thought, did a good deed, and it resulted in me not being able to watch, at least not watch from the big screen. Thankfully, I've got all my subscriptions through Amazon Prime, and so I can watch on. I mean, I'm guessing Fox I could watch directly on the Fox app, but Amazon is just fine. I missed the conversation around Zagabond and and Klon. When the old CEO left and Klon came CEO, there was some confusion around that transition. Yeah, I agree. I think that I don't think an artist is always fit to be a CEO. Maybe to start as they launch their NFT project and their brand, maybe that makes sense. And then I think you grow and you hire someone like a I don't know, like a Julian Hoagland, who was CEO at Billboard and has that experience in the corporate world. No offense to Burnt Toast, but I, like Yuga made that they went and hired the big corporate exec and Daniel, and it didn't work out. I think Figgy's a much better fit. Figgy's also a seasoned CEO. He's ran multiple businesses very successfully in the Web 2 world, well before Web 3. So I think in that case, it makes sense. It's also very different in these collections where, like, Klon was the artist. Burnt Toast is the artist, the founder, like the face of those NFT PFP collections. Seneca, great artist. I enjoy her work. Who was one of the artists on the Bored Ape Yacht Club, wasn't part of the team. Was a hired, was commissioned for her work, as many of these collections were. Like, not only was Luca not the founder of Pudgy Penguins, Cole, the founder, wasn't the artist. Like, they hired the work done. I think it's very normal, and in those cases, certainly doesn't make sense for the artist to be running the company. I think in cases of like Klon and Burnt Toast, I know there's others, but those two jump out as like ones that became really big and were like doing their art well before their NFT project dropped. I think it makes sense to bring in a polished leadership team, experience, not just CEO, but some people to lead comms and marketing. We beat that drum for a while. So I don't think it's I think maybe how they did it, like, could you have found a seat for him on the board where he's not like exited from the brand, his baby? Yeah, I think so. I don't know where Cool Cats goes from here. I don't know what and I'll go back and read some more stuff. I've listened, I heard them, and I just didn't hear the brief take I heard yesterday on the show with Machiavelli and Proof Half a Degen and Loki was nothing that got me excited. Oh, I need to get a Cool Cats. I want to be along for this ride. Like, you got, in one case, you've got, coming fresh off Klanos. By the way, if you missed the space on Friday, I'll pin that up top. It was a great interview with impromptu interview with Cab and Andrew from the Klanos team. If you missed that and are curious more about what they did and are doing, I'd strongly recommend going and checking that out. It was just a really good conversation. We are having them back on the show later this week, so don't feel bad if you missed it. You can join us again. I think we're gonna do that Thursday morning, but I did pin it up top, so all the way left, if you want to catch that recording after the show, or you can, go if you haven't listened to our podcast yet, do like what One in a Million does and go find us on Apple. It's just Coffee with Captain, and smash the follow, the like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star rating and review over there. It does make a big impact, and it's greatly appreciated. But point being, you got Klanos who are gifting equity to their holder base. You've got Figgy, who's out there and in the trenches. He's hosting local meetups. He's traveling the country. We've got Ape Fest coming at Beeple's place. At least that's this. We're speculating, and a lot of things happening on many fronts. You got, it's not even their core product. It's a third party, Orange Cap Games, but you got Pudgies in national retail with Vibes, Moonbirds as well. There's all the, Azuki just launched their TCG, and that's, the market's responding well this morning. VeeFriends crushing it on the collectible front with Topps Chrome and their big drops. I feel as if the Blue Cat, I feel if the Cool Cats had IP that works, like it could have and should transcend the crypto space. They did. I mean, they had a freaking balloon at the Macy's Day Parade a couple years ago. their activation at NFT NYC in 2023, I think, was awesome. And then they went through some of these leadership changes, and my view is, and I did hold a cool cat for a while. I actually won it playing daily fantasy football, believe it or not. Rest in peace, Rainmakers, and it's also why I have boycotted DraftKings ever since, because they actually rugged us and said I'm done, and I have not been on the platform since. After playing since they launched. Anyways, I digress. I'm not going to make this a let's bash DraftKings moment. But my point is, cool cats, like my perception is they were like copying roadmaps of others in the space, trying to do a lot of the same things, from dropping their cool pets to dropping their milk token, and instead of like being themselves. And I think versus attempting to build out a new fungible token or a metaverse, lean into the IP. Like, look at, if you're going to copy a roadmap, look at what Pudgy's has done. Look at Vibes. I'm not saying Cool Cats needs to do a TCG, but what could you see this art playing on? Where would it make sense to see this IP? Follow Klanos. Like, an animated short makes a lot more sense than a metaverse, I think. Like, I'm not saying like they should do this or they have to do this. I just what is the plan? And I think you've got IP that it does resonate. It's cute. It should stand by itself. So then what can you build around it? And it's not just the same plushies or vinyls or a TCG, but find out what's uniquely Cool Cats. What is the team passionate about? Klon wants to explore new art. Cool. He could and should do that. The other co-founder, and I apologize, I'm not remembering his name right now, who spoke yesterday, but what are they going to build? What is the business? It's not just shipping more NFTs. I think, my understanding, I think they're like doing their own like mini metaverse, and I think that's not going to land. Sorry, I'm not trying to be, just keeping it real. Like, that's, if you want to build something in the metaverse, just build an experience on the other side right now. Like, you've got a user base there that's probably more active than the Cool Cats user base at this point. So lean into that. I don't think the need to build another metaverse is going to be it. Zane, you nailed it. That's the Cool Cats. That's what the Cool Cats TCG would be like. I'm not going to quote this one, but that's it. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I wish them. I don't know what that means, Dor. You want me to say a word I can't pronounce? I see the trap. I don't even know what it means. I'm gonna have to Google the word first. Yeah, I'm rooting for them. I'd like to see them do well. I think the art is good. Like, I could see an animated series. I could see, the and I know they did plushies and vinyl. Like, it's very hard to do that. I think also, as we're Lin Quad is the other founder. Lin Quad. So I thought he was saying a word. That's actually the founder's name. I should have remembered that one. Lin Quad is the other founder that had left or got exited, got asked to leave, and is now back. Sounds like a good guy, and still some passionate community members there. Now what? Like, it's one thing to remove Klon. Okay, but why? You remove him to do what? What is that leading towards? What's the plan? What's the true north? What is Cool Cats building? And I'm not like saying this like to be a jerk. I truly don't know. I don't have any idea what their plans are, how they intend to grow this into a sustainable business, a revenue generating business. And I guess like, if you're going to remove a founder who's beloved by a lot of the space, my feedback, my critique would be, here's the next chapter. So I think right now it's just like, okay, the artist is gone, and we got new leadership again. They've had multiple, I don't know, you probably 4 or 5 CEOs, I think now, if you go back through the company history. What where do we go from here? What is the plan? And again, I'm rooting for them. I'd like to see them do well. I think a win from any Web3 native, any PFP NFT native brand is a win for the space at large. And everyone loves a good comeback story. So I'd love to see them nail whatever they're planning to do next. I just have no idea what that is. Sasha, GM, it's been a while. Good to see you. Thoughts on Cool Cats or something else bringing you up this morning?
GM Captain. I have a lot of thoughts on Cool Cats. I know I don't have much time. How are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Great. Just moved back to the US, so adjust.
Hey, welcome back. Where can I ask where without doxing yourself? At least what part of the country?
Oh, I don't mind. It's near Tampa, Florida.
Oh, hey, it's my stomping grounds. I've been in this area for Tampa St. Pete area for 5 years. I just beginning of the year moved down to Sarasota, but still not far away. I was just sharing. I'm heading up to Tampa tonight to go to a Rays game.
Hey, let me know.
Tampa's awesome, man. I love it. You're have you been here before, or this your first time?
No, first time. So I moved back with an old friend and his family and kids. So I'm playing an uncle now, trying to learn that.
Nice, man.
Because I've been spent the last 4 years in Asia, so I'm way back now. I have to acclimate and decide what's next. I'm also finishing the last thing, like Unchained version and release that, see how it goes, and if that doesn't work, find a job or something.
Good luck, man. Well, Tampa's very unique. Like Tampa, St. Pete often get grouped together. Both awesome cities. I love both. But not only are Tampa and St. Pete very different, the vibe's very different.
Yeah.
Different portions of Tampa are going to be very different from other portions. It's like choose your own adventure type of a city where if you want the beach, you can have the beach. If you want downtown, you can have downtown, and you want the country, you can have the country. Everything in between.
Cold all day. It's all good. But about Cool Cats. So I was there. Obviously, we a lot of us, you were there during the whole thing. I don't know what happened internally, but we do know that Klon really, really wanted to make a comic or like a animated series, right? So they have a YouTube channel with one season of, 10 episodes or something, 8 episodes of Cool Cats cartoons, and they did okay. I see they're about a lot of the episodes had 200,000 views.
Not bad.
Some others are like 60 to 90. But I don't know. I'm not sure what the magic is. I'm not sure what Luca. First of all, I think it'd be great if Luca had the IP instead of, I guess, Animoca, whoever owns it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should have shared it. Yeah, Animoca is the primary, the controlling shareholder, is my understanding.
Yeah, I'm not sure Animoca has. I'm not sure that's their wheelhouse to develop IPs like that. But I personally, I think the first thing is like, look what Bored Ape is doing. Like, I think BC went through the similar thing of trying to find really what it is, what makes the club and what makes this experience unique, and how do we differentiate Web 2. So personally, I think Cool Cats should lean into IRL big time, because it feels like a lot of the IRL stuff stopped in the last few years. Because if you're going to be buying an NFT and being part of it, is you want an experience that you cannot get anywhere else. And the only way to do that really is to you can watch any cartoon and there's a million cartoons out there. I really don't think that a Web2 holder actually gives a darn about a cartoon just by itself. It's almost like a very nice small icing on the cake, but we're not here to watch cartoons. So I think that's a totally different strategy purely for Web2 audience, and that's cool. Right, but that's you have to have two separate strategies. One is Web 2 and one is Web 3, and honestly, a lot of it just doesn't mix. And then you hope that people migrate, right? And people pick and say okay, I want the Web 3 ownership and the collectibles and the IRL stuff, and just I don't know, this feels like my club. And then you have the Web 2 stuff. It's same thing with Pudgy Penguins. You're not going to see a lot of link between Web 2. Most people are using Pudgy's gifts and buying the toys. They have no clue about Web 3 and they don't care. And they don't want to care. And in fact, if they did know much and cared, they would probably, since a lot of people are so anti-Web3 right now, they would be probably not buying those plushies or being into that stuff. So to me, it's personally, I have to separate those strategy for the time being. Second of all, I don't think anybody cares about cartoons.
I would push back on that. People care. People in Web3 may not care about cartoons. People definitely care about cartoons.
Right, of course. But people in Web3 don't care, is what I'm saying. And so if you want to save the collection as in the Web3 collectibles collection, I feel like it's almost a different job than talking about IP and proliferating that. And you want to have to me, that's what Pudge is doing. Like they have their Web3 thing and they have their Web2 thing, and they're generally very different, even though it's led by the same team. And there are plans, hopefully, to bridge that gap better. But personally, as a Web3 holder, I don't care. I couldn't care less about the cartoons. So yeah, IRL, and then have the strategy of, like I said, I think Giphy. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them lean into GIFs much, and I think that's a really big. If you're gonna develop your IP in Web2, like you have to go the that route and meme route. So that's something hopefully they can do. I agree. The metaverse, it's not. It's not, unless you do it huge, like it's not a thing people care about. I posted online that I think they should, if they are going to do a game experience, it has to be Animal Crossing type game, because the IP is perfect fit for that, the cuteness and coziness of it, and it's a chance to get a lot of Web2 audience. Right? I mean, how did Pokemon get built? Like you have to pick what people are doing at the time. At the time with Pokemon, there were all people watching TV shows. You only had a few TV channels, etc. So they went that route. But I think now, if you want to do up to audience grab, you have to either have a deal with like Netflix or something, or you build a game and have people learn your IP through that. Which personally, I would play Animal Crossing with cool cats.
Yeah, so maybe there's some Web3 people might. I just don't know. Like a derivative of a game that's already been. I don't think that's the answer.
It has to be a Web2 game, by the way. I'm not saying Web3 Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I don't even Web2 game. I don't know if that, like we already have a Web Animal Crossing. I don't think like just building a derivative of an existing game is the answer for them. As a lot, like could it be something that's fun to keep the community engaged while they're
right. I personally strongly disagree with that, because the derivative of Pokemon just came out and they're absolutely destroying it. Like there's been absolutely a trend, especially right now. Actually, there's a lot of copies or derivatives games that are doing really, really well because they're either a different looking IP or have slightly different mechanics. Like once people love a genre, there's a surprising amount of them who want to replay the genre in a different skin. And Cool Cats has a lot of uniqueness going to it that I think, because like there is a humor to it, the way the characters interact. If you watch their cartoons that they produce, there's definitely a very different feel to it than the standard Animal Crossing. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I think the gaming industry is showing there's a lot of demand for copycats.
That's fair. I think I do think though building a game is challenging. Like to build a game, like how many Web3 companies
not even have any money, right? Like
yeah,
I think this was like a strategy 3 years ago.
I mean, Dreamer said rest in peace Pudgy Party. Like Pudgy's had a lot of motion and they launched a game and they've already sunsetted it. It's very difficult unless it's just a fun mini game for the community. I think like to actually become a revenue generator, it's tough. It's a very tough path, and if they don't have the team to do that,
you have to pick the right genre. And Pudgy Party was not the right genre. Like in general, any type of PvP, you're gonna lose. I mean, I'm like, even if you decide to make any game right now on Steam, your number one and the biggest choice by far is what genre are you picking? Because some genres are just popular and huge and like easy to go into, and some are just like live service game is a suicide almost, right? Like you have to be an insane studio or have an insane idea, whatever, to do any successful live service. I mean, I know this because I accidentally made a live service out of a chain as our first mod that we released, and so far it's not doing great. So you have to pick, and Animal Crossing specifically is the one genre. I mean, Pokemon just released their basically kind of similar 3D style Animal Crossing, and again, it's one of the best selling Pokemon games ever. So anyway, that's just like you have to pick the right genre, and I think in that specific case, it is the right genre.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, you definitely got to pick the right genre. Still, even picking it, it's easier said than done, and maybe that's their path is build a mini game. I just don't know. I mean, looking at their YouTube, I mean, they've got 58,000 subscribers. Compare that to Klanos, who's been getting in a lot of headlines. They've got Klanos has 69,000 subscribers, so pretty close in terms of subscriber base. Cool Cats, just I got it pulled up on screen. If you don't see it, just some of their top videos here, their latest videos, 213,000 views. That was just 7 months ago. 660,000 views, also 7 months ago. 355,000 views. That was episode 13 of the Milk Chug a year ago. And most of these Milk Chug episodes are in the several hundred thousands. You're like 300,000, 300,000. There's a few that was like 73, 114,000. 119,000. Episode 8 was 621,000. Like they were getting eyeballs, over 500,000 in some cases on their animated shorts. I think the question is, and then what? How do they monetize that? Maybe they did. But beyond YouTube monetization, how do they turn that into a profit center for them? Because we've been seeing Kleno's praises recently, which I think deserved. If you compare the two, they're now granted their micro episodes just launched. The first one has 128,000 views. It was out 10 days ago. The second one has 41,000 views, and the most recent one has 38,000 views. And if you look at their shorts, 10,000, 17,000, 25,000, videos. But quite frankly, their trailer, the Klenosaurus concept trailer, did 1 million views. But other than that, most of them haven't done as well as Cool Cats did. Now, I think where, from a confidence level, as an active participant, as a collector, as an investor, I do believe that Kleno seems to have more of a plan towards the business, to where while Cool Cats was doing the videos, I don't know what else was with that. How are you going to turn a YouTube series into it? And maybe the answer is we're hoping for a Netflix deal. Maybe. I don't know if you're going to get there with 2-minute episodes by themselves. I think at some point you have to go from beyond the mini shows or the micro shows into a full-blown series. I know that's easier said than done when it comes to animation, but I think at the end of the day, it's I just don't know what their plans are. And hey, maybe if they come out and say, hey, we're building a mobile game, or we're going to do the the animated series thing. They still have, talking about the brand, the brand hitting, they still have, I'm trying to find one that's not pinned. This was posted May 22nd. The Instagram numbers are hard to see. So 739,000 views on that one. That's a pin post from a while ago. They get some eyeballs on their stuff. Could GIFs help them? Maybe. I think GIFs are a little overrated. Can it get your eyeballs out there? Yeah, but it's not.
Well, it's just part of the strategy.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just one piece.
GIFs, it's the shorts. It's how do you become the cultural zeitgeist? How do you become some people just know? I think just GIFs. When you have a really good character, it's just automatic. People want to use it, because a lot of people want to send in cute things and cute GIFs with them. They have to pick between Pudgy and whatever. So they just need to be in that contest where they're one of the characters people want to pick. I think Giga Noob, I don't know if you've seen them or from Gigaverse on Abstract, how they're doing their YouTube strategy with shorts. They went from 0 subscribers, I think 6 months ago, to over 1 million YouTube subscribers now. Just by doing sort of inspirational, motivational, uplifting kind of shorts. So it's maybe just they need some really good social media presence in terms of somebody who knows what they're doing in that sense, right? Who understands how to grow that following by speaking to, they are seemingly want to speak to the cozy, cute, good wishing, right? They don't do cussing any customers or whatever. So they just need to honestly copy some of these projects that are succeeding. Podges and Gigaverse are doing incredibly well in Web 2. And then from there, obviously you have to do toy sales, rely on that. And personally, I think Web 3 is an entirely different, separate strategy.
Yep. Nope. I do agree. Different strategy. There's not one path, but I'd like to know what the plans for the path are going to be. And I just don't know if we've seen or heard that yet from the team. We did just get some breaking news though. Speaking of Klenos, the Klenos Collectibles Manifesto just dropped. I want to get this out, and then we gotta get out of here today, Sasha. But I appreciate you. Good to see you again. Welcome back to the States. Welcome to the Tampa area, and I appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, man. Pleasure. Cheers.
The Klenos opens to our collectors and holders. Digital collectibles are not a new behavior. They are the next evolution of one of the most enduring traditions. We've always collected objects that carry identity, meaning, memory, status, belonging, and story. Stamps, comics, trading cards, toys, vinyls, watches, sneakers. As culture becomes increasingly digital, collectibles inevitably become digital as well. The principle remains the same. I'm going to interject here. The Cool Cats leadership team should read this post. Klenos is this is what I'm like. You have a good thesis. Everyone can lean into this thesis here. And then how do you grow this collectible, these collectible principles into a profitable business. Ownership, provenance, permanence, community, identity, story. What changes is the technology through which those ideals are expressed. We believe the first generation of digital collectibles established a foundation and proved that people care about owning digital objects. The opportunity now is building brands with collector cultures that can endure for decades. Most of all, we believe digital collectibles are still in the formative years, a category whose long-term potential is only beginning to emerge. The standards are still being written, and companies that establish trust, collector language, and operate discipline today will help define the category. That's our ambition. These are our principles through which we will build our manifesto. 1, the collectible is the product. The collectible must be desirable on its own. Games, rewards, achievements, and future experiences can enrich the object, but they should never become a substitute for it. 2, scarcity is a promise. A collection matters because its boundaries are known and respected. A collection, once declared and released, is immutable. Its supply, membership, and identity are fixed. Every new series should earn its own identity, establish its own significance, and contribute to a broader catalog on its own terms. Growth comes through new collections, never by expanding existing ones. A category compounds through new stories, not stretch supply. We build ecosystems inside ecosystems. 3, first print is sacred. History matters. Every collectibles category has artifacts that become important because they came first. They represent the moment a category, a brand, a story entered the world. Founding collections occupy permanent place in the history of the catalog. We protect the founding artifacts, that's Claynosaur's Genesis, Saga, and Popkins, are never hence diluted or competed with. 4, collecting should feel good. The anticipation of opening a pack, the satisfaction of completing a set, the discovery of something unexpected, the conversation piece. Great collectibles create memories. We design for those emotions. 5, community creates value. The strongest collectible ecosystems are built on the communities that form around them. The IP and story creates a reason to start. The collector community creates a reason to stay. Collectors create value for each other. They teach newcomers, preserve history, establish norms, document the catalog, create prestige, stories, traditions, and meaning that no company can manufacture on its own. They form culture. The moment collectors begin teaching other collectors how to collect, a category starts becoming self-sustaining. 6, depth beats churn. The strongest collectibles categories are built around increasing layers of participation over time. What begins as curiosity evolves into expertise. Ownership evolves into identity. That's how collecting becomes an evergreen hobby rather than a temporary transaction. Hobbies deepen. When somebody buys something and leaves, you've created a customer. When somebody discovers a deeper layer of participation, you've created a hobbyist. Importantly, progression is not linear. The experience becomes richer as knowledge increases. The goal is to ensure there's always deeper layers to discover, more to learn, more to chase, more to understand, and more ways to participate. Every collector has a next level. If there isn't, they eventually leave. 7, clarity matters. Collecting should never become deeper as knowledge increases. Collecting should become deeper as knowledge increases, not more confusing. New collectors should understand the ecosystem quickly, while experienced collectors can explore its nuances over time. The challenge is not eliminating complexity. The challenge is making complexity discoverable rather than overwhelming. Depth rewards commitment. Confusion punishes curiosity. 8, ownership should endure. Collectors should be able to trust that the objects they acquire today will remain accessible tomorrow. Provenance, permanence, and ownership are not features. They are foundational to the category itself. If everyone at Claynosaurus disappeared tomorrow, does the object still exist and still mean what it meant? The ideal state is clear even if technology remains imperfect. We do not pretend the category has solved these problems. True permanence, fully on-chain media, decentralized storage, and frictionless self-custody are still evolving. The principle is we move toward greater permanence and collector sovereignty whenever technology allows. We're almost done here. 9, trust is the asset. Every decision is made in service of what the collectible will mean years from now. Trust is earned slowly, protected carefully, and becomes the foundation upon which everything is built. And last but not least, number 10 of this manifesto is build for decades. Collectible categories are measured in generations, not market cycles. We make decisions with the belief that the most important value of an object is often the meaning it accumulates over time. Well, you won me over with the Haaland image as well. Really well said. A great manifesto. I do think it would benefit other leaders, teams, founders in the space to give that a review. I think I probably agree with most, if not all, of that shared there, and that's something that can be replicated. That's something that can be duplicated into your business, your product. To their point, the product is the collectible. what are you building around it? How are you scaling a business? And that could be different for all, but I think holding to that manifesto would be not exactly the same. Take your own approach, but I think a lot of things there just make sense from the building on-chain collectibles and building IP in this space. All that said, we ran a little long this morning, 10:05. We do have I'm going to pin up top the reminder for the remainder of the week. If you've not yet hit those, you can smash the reminders for the rest of the week as I play us out of here. But we'll be live, as always, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Nyland, the Norway goalie, the Norway keeper, his image is featured in that reminder up top. So you see the goalie getting pumped. That's the one you want to go through that thread and hit those reminders. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time, celebrating a U.S. men's national team victory over the evil Belgium. I kid, but I do appreciate everyone who got in that conversation on both sides this morning, and really enjoying my soccer journey. Excited to continue that, and we're rooting on Spain and Belgium both today. So hopefully we get another dub in the draft, or the underdog draft streets, as well as the parlays out there. And fun week this week. We do have a few new. We got Clay Noseem, as I mentioned, going to be joining us. Maybe another guest this week, but more on that tomorrow. I'm gonna let you out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 8 a.m. But until then, have a wonderful day, everyone.